Hello, my name is Brandy Childs. I'm a graduate student at American College of Education. Today I will be discussing the role of play in child development and learning. First, I want to explain what inspired me to create a presentation focusing on the importance of play in child development and learning. When people find out I am a kindergarten teacher, often the response I receive is, "Your job must be so easy. Sing the ABCs, finger painting, snack, Play-Doh, free choice, nap time, recess." Many people are surprised when I describe kindergarten as the new first grade, with many children reading by the end of the school year. Even though research on how children develop and learn supports the inclusion of play experiences in early childhood, it is unfortunately not as present in many of today's kindergarten classrooms because of the rise in academic expectations and standardized testing. According to Elkine, play is not a luxury, but rather a crucial dynamic of healthy physical, intellectual, and social emotional development at all age levels. I will begin by outlining some of the characteristics of today's kindergarten. I will then define developmentally appropriate practice and discuss the theoretical support, developmental benefits, and different types of play-based learning. During this presentation, I will provide examples and suggestions supported by research for how play can be incorporated within kindergarten curriculum while still meeting academic learning goals. Kindergarten classrooms across the United States look and sound very different than they used to. Instead of dedicating learning time to play, exploration, and relationship building, children are spending more and more time sitting in front of a teacher receiving direct instruction. While teachers have training experience with creating, differentiating, and individualized curriculum, many school districts require them to teach from a script while teaching concepts taken directly from a standardized test. Why was there such a drastic change in kindergarten? One reason is because of the increase in state expectations, standards, and standardized tests. Another reason is because more and more children are being enrolled in pre-K, resulting in kindergarten not being the first school experience for many children, so expectations for kindergarten readiness are higher. But what about the children who do not attend preschool or pre-K? To understand the importance of play for children's development, we must first discuss the concept of developmentally appropriate practice. In their position statement, the National Association for the Education of Young Children defines developmentally appropriate practice as an approach to teaching grounded in the research on how young children develop and learn and what is known about effective early education. There are three main things teachers should consider when working with children. First, what is known about child development and learning? What strategies and activities will best support learning for specific age groups and abilities? Second, teachers must get to know each individual child. What are their strengths, interests, learning style, and abilities? Teachers can then use this information to individualize and scaffold learning experiences for children. And third, teachers must get to know children's social and cultural contexts within their family and community. What are their values and expectations? Including these three considerations when planning learning experiences for children will ensure teachers are meeting children's needs in a developmentally appropriate way. According to Birch-Bynum et al., constructivist learning theory is the idea that children learn by creating knowledge by interacting with their environment. The theorists whose work I will discuss today are John Dewey, Maria Montessori, Jean Piaget, and Lev Vygotsky. John Dewey was an American philosopher and educational reformer. He believed that social interaction is essential for children's development and should be included in school curriculum. He was an advocate for play and recognized its psychological and emotional benefits for children's development. Dewey felt that education should come from children's natural curiosity, with the teacher acting as a guide, exposing children to as many experiences as possible to enhance learning. According to Dewey, When children investigate and explore their own questions, they make real-world connections and construct their own learning. Dewey believed that children are active learners who learn best by doing and when they are actively engaged. He believed that the natural learning experiences that take place during play enhance children's development. Maria Montessori was an Italian doctor and educator whose philosophy of teaching and learning is known as the Montessori method. Montessori believed that children begin learning as soon as they are born and considered the early childhood years to be when children have the most capacity for development and learning. Montessori believed that children should be active participants in learning, while teachers should be passive, ready to guide children when they are needed. While Montessori did not encourage make-believe play at school, her classrooms were structured around guided play, with all materials and activities designed for learning of a specific concept or skill. Montessori believed that play is the work of the child. She created her own objects for children to work with, which served a specific educational purpose. Teachers in Montessori classrooms modeled the correct use of the objects and observed children as they work with the materials. The materials are arranged by subject, are meant for self-directed learning without a teacher's assistance, and are self-correcting, so children can see their own mistakes and then correct them. In Montessori classrooms, children are free to move about the room, choose their own activities, and can choose to work independently or with peers. Jean Piaget was a Swiss psychologist known for his theory of cognitive development. While conducting intelligence tests, Piaget found a correlation between the age of the child and the pattern of incorrect answers, leading to the hypothesis that young children think differently than older children and adults. This idea led to his stages of cognitive development theory. His theory included 4 stages: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Piaget believed children moved through each stage in order while accomplishing the developmental milestones through interactions with the environment around them. Piaget viewed children as scientists and explorers, naturally motivated to learn and constantly looking for new information to make sense of their environment. He believed that learning experiences should be appropriate to children's age and development, allowing them to construct their own learning from hands-on experiences. According to Piaget, play is cognitive development. During play, children develop their imagination, memory, creativity, problem-solving, and decision-making skills. Additionally, other skills and information that are crucial to development are learned through play. For example, when a child engages in play at the water table, he learns about the concepts of solids and liquids, flowing water, and sink and float. These are all academic science concepts. While the child's role is to construct learning through play and exploration, the teacher's role is to guide and facilitate experiences that promote learning. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist best known for his sociocultural learning theory. He believed that children's cognitive development, including language, is dependent on social interactions. Vygotsky believed a crucial element of the learning process is the most knowledgeable other, which he defined as an adult or more capable peer who works with a child and has more knowledge or greater understanding of a certain activity and can provide both modeling and scaffolding for the child. His theory includes the zone of proximal development, or ZPD, which is the level where learning is most likely to occur for the child. Within the ZPD, children can function developmentally at a higher level while working with a more knowledgeable other than they can when working independently. Vygotsky believed that taking part in fantasy play was important for children's development. He believed that imagination and creativity are significantly linked to realistic thought and development, which is evident in children's play. During imaginative or fantasy play, the child takes what she knows about the world and creates her own imaginary reality to meet her own wants and needs. In play, it does not matter to a child what an object's intended use is. While engaging in fantasy play, the object becomes whatever the child wants it to be. For example, A child's imagination can turn an ordinary cardboard box into a castle in a land far, far away. The domains of learning and development are cognitive, including problem-solving skills, reasoning, decision-making, creativity, and the ability to focus; social, including communication, friendship, cooperation, and problem-solving skills; emotional, including expressing feelings, self-regulation, self-esteem; language, building vocabulary, speech acquisition, conversation skills; and physical, including fine motor skills, which includes the hands and fingers; gross motor skills, the use of arms, legs, and torso. The physical domain also includes coordination and balance. According to the National Association for the Education of Young Children, all the developmental learning domains are interrelated, with what happens in one domain affecting the others. For example, a child's language development affects his ability to join in social interactions with adults and peers. Providing opportunities for play experiences in early childhood classrooms will help to support children's healthy development across all 5 learning domains. There are 2 main types of play-based learning, which are defined by who is directing the play. Free play is completely directed by the child, without control or oversight by a teacher. Children participate in different kinds of free play, with some examples including object play, such as building with blocks, playing with dolls, and constructing puzzles; rough and tumble play, such as chasing, tumbling, playing tag, and play fighting. In sociodramatic play, children take on different roles while creating and following their own social roles. Some examples are playing house and taking on family roles, playing doctor's office and being the doctor, nurse, and patient, or taking on the roles of shoppers and checkers at the grocery store. In guided play, the teacher guides children toward a specific learning goal by embedding or extending learning opportunities within children's play. There are 2 different ways for guided play to occur. In the first, the teacher prepares the setting with specific materials and activities in a way that promotes children's autonomy, allowing them to make their own play choices, while still working toward specific goals. The teacher is close by, ready to ask guiding questions to extend the child's learning and support children as needed. In the second, the teacher watches and observes children as they participate in child-directed activities, jumping in to ask questions, make suggestions, and further extend their interests in learning. Some examples of guided play activities include object play, such as building blocks, where children are encouraged to build a tall tower; games with specific rules; or sensory play at the water table that has been prepared with specific materials for exploration with a specific learning goal in mind. When children participate in block play, they are stimulating their imagination, working on motor skills, spatial reasoning, problem solving, language, and social skills. Academic subjects such as mathematics and science are learned during block play as children count, compare, measure, sort, and test hypotheses. The block center should include blocks of different shapes, sizes, and types, such as wood, foam, cardboard, and Legos. Adding construction-themed books and writing materials to the block center also promotes early literacy skills. While engaging in dramatic play, children learn to express and manage their emotions, imagination, increase vocabulary and language skills, as well as problem-solving skills such as taking turns and sharing. Materials to add include dolls, pretend food, aprons, dishes, and other cooking materials, dress-up clothes, cash registers, phones, books, and writing materials. Items should be added and changed out to accommodate children's interests, such as creating a veterinarian's office, grocery store, or post office. Reading skills can be supported through dramatic play as well by adding books, menus, and labels. When playing games with set rules, such as card games and board games, children learn social skills such as taking turns, solving problems, how to win, and how to lose. Math, reading, cognitive, language, and fine motor skills are also developed through playing games. Games can be used to practice specific concepts, such as counting, colors, or letter identification. Games with rules can also include activities such as hide and seek, red light, green light, and freeze tag. Children also like to make up their own rules for games and role-playing activities. Children use their senses for both art and sensory activities, so many skills are similar between the two types of activities. Fine motor skills are supported through using scissors, writing utensils, squeezing sponges, and picking up small objects with fingers. Cognitive, language, problem-solving skills, and creativity are supported through both art and sensory activities. In the Art Center, materials should be added and changed out to accommodate children's interests. Materials should vary to accommodate developmental levels, such as different sized paintbrushes and crayons. Sensory activities should be changed frequently and can feature water, sand, dirt, pebbles, beads, and more. Different types of toys should be used to support scientific discovery and exploration, including various sizes of cups and pitchers, sponges, funnels, strainers, and stand toys. Both music and movement activities can be integrated within early childhood curriculum supporting social, emotional, language, cognitive, spatial reasoning, creativity, and gross motor skills. Songs can be used to help introduce and learn academic concepts as well as promote social participation. Examples of materials to include are CD players, instruments, scarves, beanbags, ribbons, and parachutes. Playing with toys and manipulatives can be an independent or social activity. Children learn social and emotional skills such as sharing, taking turns, solving problems, and building relationships while interacting with peers through object play, in addition to language skills. Manipulatives can also help support abstract thinking, cognitive skills, spatial reasoning, and help children learn mathematical skills such as counting, sorting, one-to-one correspondence, comparing, patterning, and geometry, as well as reading skills such as identifying letters and sounds. Toys and manipulatives should be rotated based on children's interest and developmental level. Examples of toys and manipulatives to include are puzzles, animals, geoboards, Unifix cubes, dominoes, pattern blocks, marbles, shapes, letters, numbers, and cars and racetracks. I will now provide a few examples of specific activities that children can participate in through either guided or free play centers. Each of the activities meets the Common Core state standards for kindergarten in either literacy or math. In my classroom, I like to create themed units, often based on children's literature, so no matter which subjects I am teaching, my students are always exposed to literacy skills. The following activities will be based on The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Both activities on this slide meet Common Core state standards for reading literature and speaking and listening. Using story props such as puppets, stuffed animals, toys, or story cards, children can retell the story as they play with a partner or small group. This activity could be offered during either guided or free play centers. Even without being prompted, children will choose to use the props to retell the story. They may even ask for a copy of the book to read as they use the props. Teachers can also set up a Very Hungry Caterpillar dramatic play area. By placing props from the story in the center, children will naturally want to reenact and role-play the story with their peers. Both activities on this slide meet Common Core state standards for math, counting, and cardinality. As children create a Play-Doh caterpillar, ask them questions such as, how many dough balls did you use to make your caterpillar? Or, I wonder how many dough balls long your caterpillar would be if you added 5 more. Using story sequencing props, children can practice literacy and math standards at the same time. After sequencing the story, ask, how many strawberries did the caterpillar eat? Or, I wonder how much food the caterpillar ate during the whole story. Other math standards can be supported using similar activities, including comparing groups of objects and sorting. The challenge kindergarten teachers today are faced with is, how do we maintain developmentally appropriate practice in kindergarten while simultaneously meeting academic standards? To promote optimal learning and development, teachers need to combine play with purpose by designing hands-on, meaningful learning activities. Each of the play activities I described on the previous slides can be incorporated into the kindergarten curriculum through either structured guided play or unstructured free play as centers. Teachers can also design specific standalone lessons that incorporate these play-based activities. Finally, it is our responsibility as early childhood educators to advocate for learning experiences that are developmentally appropriate for children. We can do this by involving families and educating community members, administrators, and policymakers about the research and evidence that supports play and its role in early childhood classrooms. To review, the concept of developmentally appropriate practice, research by theorists, and educational practitioners provide evidence that play is not only essential for learning, play is learning. This presentation provided examples of how both developmental and academic growth will occur if teachers are intentional in the activities, materials, and overall experiences they provide for children. As a final thought, Gullo and Hughes said, while kindergarten has changed in ways that reshape curriculum and instructional practices that are more reminiscent of primary grades, the fundamental developmental characteristics of kindergarten children have not changed. The ways they construct knowledge and problem solve have not changed. The ways they learn have not changed. The ways they socially interact have not changed. Finally, the fact has not changed that while there are many similarities among kindergarten-age children, not all kindergartners learn in the same rate or in the same way. Thank you for joining me today.